Bună ziua din nou, îl avem alături de noi pe Colin Lovering, Global Brand Ambassador pentru Carpathian Single Malt, primul whisky realizat în România și președinte pentru Camera de Comerț Româno-Britanică. Hello Colin, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for asking me to be on the show.
Colin, first of all, I really want to find out how did you become a brand ambassador for a Romanian whiskey? Because I know that whiskies are made in Scotland, Ireland, the US, Japan.
Yeah.
I saw some in India, but they're all related to British culture. Romania isn't. How do you see Carpathian?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Well, I guess if we're going to get onto Romanian and British culture, there are some similarities. But I think Romania is obviously famous for being a wine growing country, and it was really sort of inspired by the founder of the Alexandrian Group, Dr. Nawaf Salameh, who had an ambition. He was made keeper of the Quake because of his contribution to Scotch whisky. So that was already there. And then obviously it was a dream to be able to produce it in Romania. And yes, I know there's always a question of Romanian whiskey, and that's what we're hearing from people. But it's more out of curiosity than doubt. So, which is the good part, and then people are tasting it and experiencing it, and then they're like, "Wow, we've had some wonderful experiences." So for me, I guess the reason why I was asked to be that, I do have Scottish, I have Irish blood, so I've kind of got that maybe the face as well. But I think I think I've inherited Dr. Nawaf Salameh's passion for Romania as well. And I think my ability to be able to travel and speak about the product and the country. I've been here 12 years. I have this passion for this country as well. So I guess it was a combination of things there that enabled me to take on this role. And so far, the journey has been a pretty remarkable one, really. So there hasn't been a hurdle of having a whiskey made in Romania has not been an obstacle at all
Mm-hmm.
so far.
Mm-hmm. Now let's switch to business. How attractive is Romania and the economic environment of Romania for British investors?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the challenge is always the same with Romania. It's still a bit of a hidden secret or hidden gem, and the more people that have a taste of Romania, to use a pun, the more people understand the value here. There's a lot of British organisations here who are doing very successfully. Very prominent organisations like the London Stock Exchange and Endava and Brico Store, etc. So there's already those sort of role models here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in terms of the attractiveness factor, what we need to do, I guess, a little bit more I think, Bogdan, it's a little bit like if you book a hotel, if you read what the hotel's saying about somewhere, it's okay. But when you read what the reviews, that's a bit that convinces you. And I think if we do more of that, more and more people will discover. So it's just a case of putting Romania on the map more than anything else. And I'm just going back to the whiskey subject, if I may. In the travels that I've done, 50% of the reason for me being the global brand ambassador, for instance, is because I believe in the product. It's an absolutely great quality product. But I have to say 50% of it is the ability, excuse me, to travel around the world promoting Romania. And
Mm-hmm.
when I stand in the UK or in the USA, and I'm describing the Danube Delta, and I'm describing the traditions and the culture here, I can see people's eyes opening, going, "Wow!"
Mm-hmm.
So I think, kind of in answer to your question, we really need to for everybody is to be part of this and taking responsibility, and not just relying on some nice adverts on the TV or whatever to attract industry. But I think it's got a rosy future in some certain sectors, at least, anyway.
Mm-hmm. How is it that, for example, you with the Carpathian, and I saw your work and how you promote Romania. I saw what Charlie Otley is doing also. Uh, how is it that we have great British ambassadors for Romania?
It may be
Do you see
coincidence.
something that
I'm
we
pretty
don't?
No, I don't think so. But I think Bogdan, it's the same. It's just like me. I've lived in Romania for 12 years. When I go back to Britain, I go back as a tourist. So now I'm actually visiting and appreciating things that I kind of took for granted. So I think it's the same in every country. So in Romania, you'll find if you're Romanian, you can say you love the country, and of course people do, but that real sort of in-depth passion that you want to exude to other people, I think us foreigners, that's why we love living here. So I think it's not necessarily a British thing. It's coincidental, I guess, because Charlie is very high profile in the incredible work that he's done with the documentaries. And I'm a fellow Brit, although I'm a mixture of nationalities within Britain. I think that bit is purely coincidental. Although, as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about obviously King Charles as he is now. I guess there was a natural sort of following of a gentleman like that, his passion for Romania. So I guess the Brits kind of we tagged along to that passion along him as well. But I'm pretty sure there's many expats in this country who would talk about this country with as much passion as I do.
How can we attract more investors from Britain?
I think a little bit like I was touching on. I think let's say if the ministry, the Ministry of Tourism called me and said, Colin, could you help us? I'd be there. So I think we just need to widen the voice. You mentioned people like Charlie Otley, people like that, to actually be an integral part of promoting business. So, what does the company do? They're sat around a board table and they're thinking, okay, guys, we've got a choice. We could go to Romania, we could go to the Czech Republic, we could go to Poland. Which one are we going to choose? And it's that decision part that I think there's people like myself would be delighted to be more part of, basically. So I think in answer to your question, I think it's just a simple case of everybody who's not in the official part of it, in the more unofficial part. It's a culture as well, Bogdan. It's incredible. And I know a lot of CEOs that come over here are looking for the way of life here as well as the facilities. I think if we just talk about Bucharest, inclusion Timișoara and Iași, great facilities to accommodate big and small companies, but also looking for that cultural thing, also looking for the kind of the style of people. And I think for Britons particularly, they love Romanians because we share the same sense of humor. I think that always helps when you have the same sense of humor in a foreign country. And I think the Romanian work ethic is very much a task orientated work ethic here. So the efficiency is there. And I think that alongside the British kind of, we're very much sort of customer orientated and the people orientation, and I think we can learn from each other. And I think people come over and get that experience and see how those combined forces can help your company be successful, and geographically as well. Obviously, Romania is in a good spot.
I understand. Do you have or do you know about certain discussions or companies that are taking Romania into account to have an investment here in production or open an office?
Yeah, well, obviously we have close ties with the British Embassy here and also the Romanian Embassy in London, if we're specifically talking about the UK, and with the British Romanian Chamber of Commerce, of course. So we will get people contacting us. But also they tend to Google and look for companies here and make those approaches to CEOs of the larger organizations as well and get their opinion. So there is that vehicle. There's other organizations like Invest Romania and of course the Romanian government as well. So there's lots of ways of finding out. But I I think Googling is the initial start to it. And that's why, that's why we've got to make that immediate impression, because if you Google business in Poland, Google business in Czech Republic, my apologies to the people of the Czech Republic and Poland, and Google Romania, what difference are you really going to get? And that's where we really need to be at the forefront. And that's what I mean, showing the nature, the culture of this country, as well as the business opportunities, the infrastructure, which is pretty easy to set up and do business in Romania, I think. So we do get people asking us. So you can imagine what the answer is from me. We just hope we get more and more sort of channeling through to us at the Chamber of Commerce as well.
Mm-hmm. Could we promote Romania better in the UK? And how do the Brits see Romania and Romanians? Because, for example, I know that Romanians are the fourth largest community in the UK. So almost every British knows a Romanian, almost.
Yes, I guess in theory they do. And Bogdan, I'll be very open, and we're all aware of this and conscious of it. That in the early days of the EU, there was some challenges of people, not just from Romania but from other countries, entering the UK. And unfortunately, I guess we have longer memories with the bad news and shorter ones with the good news. But I think the good news is that time has passed by. There's water under that bridge now, and I think I call them role models. And a role model can be Simona Halep or David Popovic in sport, or it could be the Dacia Duster. It could be UiPath or a famous, and it could even be Carpathian single malt whiskey that just helps to demystify the country. So I think the people in the UK. I was at an event recently in Athens and this week, and there were some Romanians visiting this show there, and they were literally hugging us because they were so proud of this product. So I think just creating those role models, it has moved on. I think Romania and Romanians are much more understood and respected and valued because of certain industries like the IT industry, for instance. I think has been a big flag for Romania. And as you said, most people, I've got two sons and they both know a couple of Romanian guys, and coincidentally, after what I just said, they're all in the IT industry. So I think, in answer to your question, it's been a transition, it's been an evolution. Where are we now? Yeah, Romania is very much on the map. I think just to finish off, I think the novelty factor of Romania that was in existence a few years ago has now dissipated, and now the bar has been raised. So people's expectations of this country and the people and the investment here is very much a serious one. So we do have to continue to up our game, I think. But I think we're in good shape. We're in good shape.
How close are we to British culture or Anglo-Saxon culture, from your point of view? Because, for example, just as a simple example, the British Council, it expanded. It offers many courses for English, from kindergarten to advanced English. At the TV, everybody wants to hear the films in English, not being dubbed in the local language in Romanian. How close are we, and can we improve to think international?
I guess my immediate answer to that is no. You don't have to, because I think the difference in Romanian culture and the British culture is a powerful one. I think we're learning from each other. I've learned to be much more efficient, for instance. I wasn't efficient before, so I've learned from Romanian culture. That's why my Romanian is awful, and my apologies to your listeners that I'm not speaking in Romanian after 12 years, because my challenge is that every time I speak Romanian, somebody replies in English. And that really, you just emphasize it. I think the fact that everything is subtitled, not dubbed, is why I've never, ever, ever, apart from deep in the country with a little old lady, I've never really had an issue with speaking English. So I'd like to think, those similarities, because for me to live here, and any expat living here, is so easy, because if you walk into a bar in other countries, I won't say Britain, but in other countries, and you're a foreigner, there is a certain skepticism, a certain sort of step back. They won't be horrible to you, but they're kind of, they won't throw your arms around you. What happens in Romania is when you walk into a pub or into anywhere, and you say you're from Singapore or you're from Australia, whatever, the reaction is one of curiosity. Oh, tell me whereabouts, what's it like there? So in terms of that, if there's one great USP for Romania, for business and for people, is just the embracing. You don't throw your arms around us and pretend to like us. You just accept us. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, come in and have a drink, or normally get persuaded to go downstairs to the cellar with a bit of a tweaker or palinka. But that's another story. But no, I don't think it needs to. I don't think we can learn from each other, but I think the two cultures are very, very compatible, and the similarities, which is tradition. And when you think about it, we have a royal connection, very much a royal connection, going back through history, and we've always been sort of friends, if you like. Sometimes a distant friend, sometimes a close friend. But I think now, because of the EU, we are colleagues. But no, I don't want to check. I don't want Romanians to turn into Brits, and I don't want Brits to turn into Romanians. There's my diplomatic end to the question.
Each country has its own strengths and weaknesses, and yes, we are related, because King Michael was related to Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Mary of Romania was the great granddaughter of Queen Victoria, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And coming back to business again, yesterday you were at the Automotive Forum. How does the car industry in Romania evolve? Because each and every year we're talking about more about software and engineering, and less about cars. How do you see this change in the car industry in Romania, and how competitive are we in the eyes of the British investors?
Yeah, well, I think you touched on it there, that technology. I think the auto industry is one of those sort of few industries which is actually able to drive the customer habit. So we've for over 100 years we've been subservient to the auto industry telling us what we should drive, which is quite interesting when you think about it. But all I heard yesterday was about technology, obviously. So we got the technology in cars, and people like Continental and Bosch and Infineon were telling about how the driverless cars are going to evolve, and obviously with the electric cars, etc. So I think, and to be honest with you, Bogdan, I was surprised just by how much money is being invested in this country. So I think Romania, and congratulations to all that, even if it's an individual IT guy working in Bristol in England, whatever he's done has really helped to highlight that expertise here. So I think the auto industry, what I was hearing yesterday, was very buoyant. Josephine Payne from Ford was delighted with how the investment is going. They've just gone into a major merger with a Turkish organization. So I think the future's very, very bright for Romania in that particular industry because of technology. I don't want Romania to be tagged with that's all they're good at, but it is sort of floating to the top as one of the major areas. The auto industry, the business services industry, because of languages, etc. So I think I'm not sure if I answered your question there, but
yes, I did. And you also handed an award for Christian von Albisfeld from Continental, and Continental is one of I think is the largest employer in the car industry and one of the largest employers in Romania, and the company that invests a lot in Romania.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it is absolutely. And Christian and I were talking afterwards, and we mentioned the word profit, and he kind of smiled about it, and he said, the whole emphasis, and this is really interesting. So companies are not investing here to make a fast buck. It's not about let's invest in Romania, make some money, and then move to another country, maybe because the labor costs may be low, whatever. That was a little bit of the mentality 10 years ago, but now it's investing in expertise of those people, and that's what I mean about Romanians and Romania have really been recognised for that. And Continental is a great example. I'm sure you won't mind me sort of voicing this, and I think it's the same with Bosch. You look at the investment they're making in Cluj, and everybody in Finion is, I mentioned before, and Ford, huge investments. And I said it's not to make a fast buck. It's long-term investments in the future, in people, technology, and expertise. We can talk about manufacturing. You asked a question earlier about investing here. Romania is one of those few wonderful manufacturing bases still. I grew up in England where I saw manufacturing decline very rapidly over 10, 12-year period, and that will never ever return. But Romania's still got that opportunity with the investment here in industrial and manufacturing units. If you want to come over and open up if one of the other major car manufacturers wanted to open up a plant here, I'm sure it wouldn't be that difficult for them to do so. But as I said, they're investing in the technology and people, and not just a short term, which is great for Romania's prosperity going forward, I think.
And how do you see nearshoring in this current economic moment? Because we have war in Ukraine, we have some problems in Southeast Asia. Can Romania attract more investments when it comes to production, to attract investments from other parts of the world? For example, Nokian tires. They closed down the plant in Russia. They sold the plant in Russia and opened a new investment in Romania. From your point of view, is Romania competitive enough to attract more investments like this?
I think so. I think geographically, but I do believe that the economies going forward will consolidate into a smaller space. We have the EU, of course, which is quite a vast area, or probably small compared with India, China, and the USA. But I can see that sort of coming down to, in terms of supply chain. I think it's already happening. I mentioned companies like Ford, where they're looking at their supply chain. So companies investing here, I think, are also looking at how they can get the products and not necessarily going to far places like China, be able to source them here. And I just mentioned the manufacturing, so it's quite easy for a major tire company or whoever it is to invest here, but also invest in a factory locally and have the products made there. So I think it'll happen more and more and more. Environmentally, of course, it's a big thing in terms of the footprint as well. So there's kind of an incentive, and I'm sure there'll be more incentives for companies to do that as well. So I think Romania, where it is geographically, I know, well, take Ford, for instance. I know they buy products in from the UK, which is probably the one extreme, but I know they're bringing a lot of products in from within Romania. And I think you'll find, I'm guessing, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing that Craiova, for instance, will grow quite substantially over the next 10 years as more demand is put in for just-in-time deliveries, and companies will invest here from other countries as well. You touched on Russia there. Obviously, we know what's going on there. Ukraine, that's going to sort of affect. It hasn't affected as much as I thought it would. I thought there would be a flurry of organizations moving to Romania, but I think a lot of the industries on the west side of Ukraine, thankfully so, we should say, are not having to do that. They're holding on and hopefully be able to pick up business in the way that they did before the invasion, basically.
Yes, let's hope we can get to have also peace in the Ukraine and for Romania to attract as many investments as it can.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure. Let's be optimistic that when this horrible situation does end, there's going to be a huge amount of investment in terms of the rebuilding of Ukraine, and I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of probably Western American, UK companies, construction companies. And, where are they going to get their raw materials? Where are they going to store their materials? Where are they going to get their equipment? Romania could, I hate to say the word benefit, but could be, let's say Romania could be a strong part of that process, which again is going to be a long process, but B, it's another factor that puts Romania on the map. And it was interesting, I'll say I was in the USA and I had people coming up to me. I call myself an honorary Romanian because I've been in long enough now. And they came up to me and they were just thanking me. And they said the humanitarian work that Romanians have done and that's all they were talking about, with a little tear in their eye as they were thanking me. And again, these are role models. So those people, those health workers on the front line, and they're helping the Red Cross, whatever, they don't realize it, but they're actually promoting Romanian business, because that's the part of it. If I say, which one do you want? This one or that one? This one is Romanian, this one is something else. A lot of people are choosing a product because of the humanitarian work that's been done by Romania, for instance. So it's kind of that's what I go back to what I said right at the beginning. The more that people understand Romania and Romanians and what this country is doing, the attractiveness factor is just gonna zoom and zoom and zoom. We hope.
Yes. Thank you, Colin. Thank you very much for your interview. And I wish you a good day ahead and a nice weekend.
Okay, and the same to you and everybody watching. Take care. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again. Mulțumesc și telespectatorilor noștri și vă doresc un weekend plăcut. La revedere!
Știu ce spun.
Rușii au atacat tot infrastructura critică, un atac cu drone asupra flotei lor la Sevastopol.
Mor oameni. Este terorism.
Știu ce te interesează. În guvern nu știe stânga ce face dreapta. A uitat să ne invite și pe ministrul al apărării.
Omul părea chiar fericit că lipsește, ce zâmbet așa.
Știu cum să te fac curios.
Când ai un bărbat bun la toate, îl mai și închiriezi pentru a mai adăuga niște bani la bugetul familiei.
Și vindea bărbatul.
Criză, dar la noi e bine.
Știu cum să te emoționezi.
Animalele de companie pot deveni covor.
Groaznică ideea asta. N-aș putea să-i fac așa ceva pentru că ar însemna să-l retrogradez la obiect de decor.
Știu să conving.
Musk îi obligă pe utilizatorii Twitter să plătească $8 pentru butonul de verificare.
Îl susțin pe Musk, altfel, frate, totul e gratis.
Să dai mai multă libertate de exprimare unor oameni.
Cine are bifa respectivă face bani, da?
Știu să câștig.
Egalitate, fraternitate, 46 de puncte.
Hai, câștigă în retur.
Știu, deci știi.